when I have a problem, I have guy friends and I have girlfriends. I know exactly what kind of response I want. So I go to whoever that I want. There was one time that I was crying. I went to my boyfriend first. He was not empathetic at all.
Oh my
so I
gosh.
said, fuck that. I called Azura. Immediately she was like, I will beat them. Who is that? I will beat them.
Hi, Tezo.
Hey, it's Azura.
And I'm Germaine.
And welcome back to another episode of Complexities. Today, we have a special someone in the house. She's none other than entrepreneur and influencer, Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa.
Are waffles your favorite food? Is that why?
It is. Okay. One off.
That explains Vanessa. Say hi to our listeners,
Hi
Vanessa.
everyone, I'm Vanessa. I'm a content creator on Instagram and TikTok, and I also co-found a company called Zero. We distribute rice straws in Singapore.
Oh, I love that. Well, you know what? It's great that we have Vanessa here because we know that she is currently part of a girlfriend group, which is exactly what we want to talk about today. Some of the maybe not so good experiences in big girlfriend groups like toxic lah and this and that. Also some positive experiences and tips to deal with friendship heartbreak if you've ever had to go through it.
Okay, so Vanessa, what do you think about this topic when you first got to know about it?
I was like, how do y'all know? That I was in both a toxic one and a good one lah. Yeah, so a lot to unravel today.
Of course. So it's safe to say that you have ever dropped out of a big girlfriend group?
Yes.
Are they still friends?
They are. Yeah.
Like you totally cut them off?
Oh no, like they cut me off. Yeah, so then I didn't really know the reason why. Yeah, but one of my friends from the friend group is currently like my only friend still from the friend group.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes
Big
sense.
are we talking?
Like 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about like this whole story, how it happened and what unraveled and how it ended?
Yeah, so it was in secondary school, so I guess everyone was young. And I think that there's always like that one person who is the leader, you know, in a friend group.
Oh, alpha, right?
Yes, like the alpha,
I get
exactly.
it.
So I think she one day just decided to tell everybody like, oh, let's just outcast Vanessa. So like when we went for recess, right, they would just like, haha, and then they'll just leave me behind. Yeah, and then they would do that for days consecutively. And then I got the hint now. I was like, okay, I think they don't want to be friends with me anymore. So I was like, okay, like I just went recess on my own. And then like I think like the current friend that I have who's still friends with me, I asked her what happened. I was like, how come like you guys decided to do this? Like, and then she was like, she was not sure why. Like she was just following, you know. Like I think if you in a friend group, if one person says something, especially when you're young, you just follow. You don't want to be like kicked out. So so I guess that was why. After that, I was just alone for a few months, I guess.
Wait, you didn't make other friends?
I didn't, because like it was already into the school year, you know, and it's very weird. Like everyone has their own cliques already. Yeah, so I guess that was a bit heartbreaking for me. But there was another friend group in my class. And it was so nice they adopted me into their group. And I was like, oh, like they didn't have to do that. But I think that they saw that I was alone for most of the time. And then they were like, oh, Vanessa, would you like to join us for recess? You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I think that was a very wholesome experience also.
I think firstly, we're very sorry that happened to you. That's not a nice thing to happen, but it's very common. We hear it a lot.
Exactly.
Right? And I think your friend also didn't know what was going on. She just went with the flow because she didn't want to be outcasted. Right? And as you grow older, it's really the people that, you know, adopt the lone strangers that we really are very thankful for. So thank you for adopting Vanessa.
Yeah, in JC, my girlfriend group adopted me as well. I had to go up to them and say, can I sit here? And I remember one of them, Fion, he was like that. She nodded and she pointed to the seat. Yeah, whatever, just take a seat.
Oh, so cool.
And then we became very close friends, like all the way to now. It's so amazing how things turn out, right?
You try it?
Huh?
Try it.
What?
Can I sit here?
Jeremy looks like she's gonna be the leader of the girlfriend group. You know, she has that. She has that look.
The aura.
But this is like Mean Girls, right? You can't sit with us kind of energy. But hopefully we can, you know, tell you some positive experiences about girlfriend groups as well that may change your mind about them.
Wait, sorry, before that, I just want to know, did any of those friends reach out until now to say sorry?
They did. No, but they didn't like reach out to say sorry. Like they reached out more of like, oh, we don't know why we did this to you. But so I would still like to be friends with you, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. Yeah. So we actually hung out like once after that, like when I was older, like maybe in poly, you know, that kind of age. But it was a bit different already because we lost all those years, you know. Yeah.
But you do stupid things when you're young.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
looking back,
Yeah,
I have so
exactly.
many things I regret as well.
Me too.
Yeah, we just find forgiveness in our hearts.
We
for these
live and we
people.
learn.
Exactly.
Okay, so before that, right, we've done episodes on like friendships before. Today we are focusing on like big girl groups. How big is big? to you?
I was part of a girlfriend group in secondary school, which was 6 girls, including me. And I felt that was big because it was like everyone had their own duo, but you came together as a group as well.
I think 5 and above can be considered a big girlfriend group.
Actually, when I first saw the topic, in my head, immediately I was thinking like I saw a table of like 20 girls.
How to find 20 girls?
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's a bit hard to sustain.
But,
Yeah, it's a bit hard to sustain,
It
right?
is. I have a friend like from my uni, and she tells me that she's friends with her NCC friends, and they are a group of like 20 girls.
Whoa.
And I was like, how is that possible?
So they hang out all the time?
No, they hang out like maybe twice a year for those big celebrations, like
Okay,
Chinese New Year,
okay,
Hari
okay.
Raya. Yeah.
And then I'm sure like on the daily, it's like smaller groups out of that 20, correct?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask.
I think so, like usually
yeah,
that's how it
probably.
I
goes,
think that
no?
would make sense.
You have
Yeah.
subgroups, subcommittees, and then you have like the full committee and things like that. I actually read this story from one of our PDs that shocked me to my core. It was about a girlfriend group. I don't know if anyone here has experienced that. This story isn't about me, but it's about my best friend. She's currently studying overseas, and she has this group of girlfriends that she's very close to. One time they had a bonding activity. During this activity, they go around naming one bad thing about themselves. For example, oh, I hate my acne, I hate my big arms, I hate my big thighs. And then they would take turns to insult each other, saying things like, oh, your boobs so small, you left them at home, things like that.
It's like a cult.
Then, in their Telegram group chat bio, each of them put their body measurements, like boobs, waist, hips, to keep track whenever they go on a vacation. And the person to lose the most weight actually wins this pact.
What do
So
you
it's
get
a-
when you win?
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights,
bragging
okay.
rights, losing weight challenge. Not forgetting also, they would send videos of very unhealthy ways to lose weight. Things like how to stop your period to each other. And she says, my best friend tries not to engage, but it's very hard because when you're surrounded by these girls, that's all they talk about. It does influence you and make you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
There are better things to talk about. Like.
I agree. But you know how unhealthy that is for your body to eat so little that your period stops? That happens a lot in the K-pop girl groups, right? Like
You could
they try
actually
to
get
lose weight.
PCOS and then not be able to have kids in the future. So don't do shit like that. Yeah. Just feed your body and nourish your body with what it needs. And yeah, we're very sorry if you experience anything like that as well.
I remember back in my secondary school days, I used to watch a lot of Gossip Girls, and I thought this was the way that girls should be hanging out with each other. So there was one time, I think I talked about this before, I was out with one of the girlfriends in the group, and I said, oh, let's gossip about this other girl in the group.
Okay?
She politely smiled at me and she declined. It was a very nice gesture of her, but that gesture made me think, oh, there's something I'm saying right now that's wrong. I should not be saying stuff like that.
It humbled you.
It really did. It really did. It was Gossip Girls, I swear.
Yeah, I feel it.
But I'm glad, we all step out of it. We all grow. We emerge as better versions of ourselves.
Interesting. So for me, right, my groups have always been smaller. I don't think I've ever been capable of managing big groups.
Okay.
Big groups of like mixed gender and like guys, I'm okay. But big groups of girls, I find myself overwhelmed.
So a small group would be like,
3.
oh, like 3
My
of us.
biggest is like, my biggest group of girls is 5.
That's
Same.
pretty substantial.
What's your biggest girlfriend group now?
My biggest is 3.
Oh,
Yeah. I feel like
okay.
that's the magic number. I don't know, but you guys are like 5, right?
No, we are actually 3.
We are
Actually,
3.
Here's the question, right? In a group of 3, do you feel that one always gets left out?
No eh.
You don't
I
feel
don't
it?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Really?
I think
Yes,
there's I think there's like different phases, you know? I mean, cannot be all 3 of you like to do the same thing all the damn
Correct.
time, correct? So
Yep.
naturally someone will get left out, but that's okay. I think that's okay. As long as
correct.
you come together doing things that all 3 of you love, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I think that female friendships get a lot of bad rep for being toxic because of things like, I don't know, have you girls ever, fought with a friend over a boy?
No.
Oh, really?
Have you? You look like you have.
Like, not fought, but definitely disagreements.
Oh.
But it was in a mixed friend group, so not really, yeah. Because there were boys in that group also. So actually boys, being part of the equation may not be the best thing. But I think when you go through puberty especially, everyone's going through like hormonal changes, mood swings, jealousy. Like you don't really know how to regulate
Correct,
your
those emotions,
feelings,
right?
yeah.
Funny you talked about that because research shows that negative behaviors such as gossiping, exclusion, and betrayal are prevalent in female friendships. And there's this study done in this journal called Adolescence, found that these activities that we're talking about just now is actually more commonly reported among female friendships compared to male friendships, especially when you're growing up. Like what we mentioned just now, I think hormonal changes and stuff like that.
Do you think it's because as females we take things a little bit more personally? Like if something happens, we carry it with us and we dissect and we think about it and we look at it from like every angle possible. But like for a guy, I think they settle it then, or they just drop it
and
then
they
they're
move
like,
on. Like Vanessa, for you, how did you feel when they started to exclude you? You must have felt so bad, right? Did you lose sleep?
I didn't lose sleep, but it was more like I felt very alone. And I took it very personally. Like what you say. Yeah, like, I was like, why? Like, is there something wrong with me? But I feel like a guy would have been like, oh, it's okay, then I'll just find a new bro. You know, that kind of thing.
A new bro.
Yeah.
Did you talk to them about it that time?
I didn't. Yeah. I'm not a very confrontational kind. So, and I was a bit more introverted. So I think like if that is your personality, I think it's a bit harder.
Wow, but how were you so mature back then in secondary school?
I don't know. I think you're kind of forced into the situation, like, we don't want you anymore. Like, what can you do, Yeah, so I think I kind of did other things. Like, I sought external validation instead, like, from guys instead. So, like, I would, like, think, like, oh, if a guy likes me, I'm not unwanted, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so I think a lot of things are, like, very emotional to a girl.
When did you realize? What made you realize like, oh shit, they traumatized me?
Yeah, actually, I never realized. I think it's when like my friends also talk to me about it. Like, oh, how come they did this to you? Like, do you ever ask them why? Did they ever apologize and stuff? And I was like, no, like I think I'm over it. But after that, I sat back and I was like, how did it affect my life? That kind of thing. When we are a bit older, we start to think a little bit more, and then that's when I realized like, oh, actually, it did affect me. It's just that I didn't realize it at that point in time. Yeah.
So deep down lah. So at that point in time, you got a boyfriend.
No, I didn't.
But you talked about seeking like external validation.
So it's like, for example, I would text guys and then like maybe if they confess to me like, oh, I like you, I'll be like, oh, great, done. Like, at least I have other people that like me, that kind of thing. Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, I mean that
man.
is definitely one of the things that came out of that whole ordeal, and hopefully I think now you are old enough to realize that wasn't on you. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't something that you did. That was probably more a reflection of them than of you. Yeah. So it wasn't you.
Yeah. But tell us about that girlfriend group who adopted you.
Oh yeah, they were very sweet. So because it was already like into the school year, they hung out and stuff, and then they just came up to me and were like, oh, would you like to hang out with us? And they were so sweet. Like we went out together and everything, and I think like that really helped me to feel less alone. But after that, because like remember like in Sec 3, we will have to change class again. Yeah, and then like we aren't really friends anymore, but I'm still very happy like whenever I see them doing their thing. Yeah.
So in secondary 3, you formed a new group of girlfriends.
Yes. Yeah, but before I did that, like I was alone again because like you have to start again, right? Yeah.
School stuff, guys.
Yeah, it is. The school is out there.
It really
My
is.
goodness.
Like the dynamics in a school, sometimes it's even more complicated than in an office, right? Because once you grow up, everyone's kind of just, okay lah, whatever. It is what it is. But when you're young, you think it's your whole world. Like if you have no friends, you're like, oh my God, like I'm alone. That kind of thing, yeah.
Don't you think it's a lot nicer now that you're older? Like, it feels easier.
Because we are clearer about what we want. And I feel like for me, my close girlfriend group, the JC group that I have, is a group of 5 girls, including myself. Actually, we only hang out like 3 times a year. But every time we hang out, it's like time never passed. We sit down, then we catch up with each other. But I realized at this point in time, I actually also enjoy a lot of like one-to-one conversations with a good girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's what I like cherish a lot more. I'll prioritize that. Like even if you have to meet that clique separately, like one-on-one.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I think there's, obviously benefits of having a big girl group is that you can do a lot of things together. But I think there are benefits to having smaller groups of friends as well. And in fact, there's actually a professor of psychology and neuroscience. His name is Julian Holtz-Lundstad. And he actually said that the sweet spot, especially as an adult or young adult, right? The sweet spot of the number of close friends you should have is about 3 to 6.
Okay.
Not in a group, but like individually, really close friends
In your life.
in your life.
3 to 6.
3 to 6. She's counting now. Vanessa's counting.
How many do you have?
About there, like.
About there.
I would say about there too, yeah. You don't really need much more than that.
Yeah, but of course, this number is not like a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat. If you feel like you're someone who needs to have like many close friends, of course. But I feel like to sustain the relationships with each person,
Yeah.
3 to 6 is sufficient.
It's a lot of energy to be put in. But
Probably all the time you have lah.
Exactly. Right.
you quit your job. You just hang out with your friends. But this friend group that you're in now, Vanessa, you said it's a group of three girls, including you.
Including me, yeah.
So it's 3 girls. Do you think that this is like a forever friendship?
I do actually, yeah. They were actually my secondary school friends, like the upper sec friends. And then they went through like life with me. Yeah, and I feel like that was the reason why I feel like they are forever.
Aw. So is it like when you first got a boyfriend, you would want them to meet your boyfriend?
Yeah, like every single update, like, oh my god, guys, I just kissed him for the first time. You know, like everything. They know everything. Yeah.
Does your boyfriend know about that?
I don't know. Because like it was my very first boyfriend and stuff. And then like subsequently everything, I think I updated like everything. Yeah.
What do you love about this, your 3 girl friend group?
Can
so
you name
much?
them?
Oh yeah, it's Rachel and Tammy, if you guys are watching. What's so special about them?
Yeah.
I feel like even though I did something wrong, they would scold me. Like, you know, they would say like you did this wrong and like why you shouldn't do this.
Right.
But they will still love me.
Oh,
You know, that kind
I
of thing.
love that.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, thanks guys.
No, it's true. I think you need people like that in your life,
Yes.
you know? Like,
Don't worry, we are doing that to Azura all the time. Yeah.
but they still love me.
That's for
You
sure.
have no choice. So obviously you're also a content creator and entrepreneur, right? Do you have a group of friends in the industry, like girlfriends?
Yeah, so I'm close with one friend. So I have a friend who is just me and her, and then I have another friend group. We are like a group of 4. They were actually already friends, and then they also adopted me. They were like, oh, want to hang out and then like play mahjong together, you know? Cause so cute, nice. Yeah, they're like really cute.
Maybe that's why they adopted
Yeah,
you.
they need a
Such a- No, but I think it was very sweet of them. Like they would call me out and eat and everything. And I think like forming friendships as we're older might be a little bit harder, but it's still something that I'm very open to, and it's very sweet of them to do that. And because we're all in the same industry, right? So some people might think like, are your competitors, like will y'all talk about work and that kind of stuff?
For sure, like if you get this gig but I don't.
Exactly,
would
but
they?
actually they're not like that at all. Like in fact, one of them actually had a campaign and she was like, oh, do y'all want to all do it together? Yeah, and then like we all did like campaigns together, which I think is very sweet.
Wait, how do you all do a campaign together?
Like, because it was a campaign for a group, like a group of friends.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was like, I pitched you to the client, like you, the 2 of you. Yeah,
I
it
love
was
that.
very sweet.
That's so
yeah.
nice.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, so instead of like being like, oh, you are my competitor, like I'm just friends with you for whatever. I think instead of that, they turned it into something more wholesome.
But what is one tough thing about being friends with a group of influencers?
I don't know. Like,
You haven't
tough thing,
experienced
yeah,
any
I haven't
negative
really
thing.
experienced anything negative thing.
Oh,
It's
that's
more
great.
like positive stuff because it's because they're in the industry, so they would understand like more of what's going on compared to if I share the same thing with like my other friends who are not in the industry. I think it's a lot easier to share with them about like things that are happening.
I kind of feel that with me, Hazy and Zura. It's like we're all literally in the same jobs. We do the same podcast for like 4 years.
I know. And sometimes when
yeah.
clients come in, we do it together. Like NARS, shout out to NARS.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
such a fun campaign that we did. And every time we get to do something together, we're so excited about it.
Exactly.
No, but I get it because we've never felt like we're competing, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, great, we're like happy for each other.
Yeah, and we will like, look at
Exactly.
each other content, but
Yeah.
you know, that kind of
We used to like
reels and
sit.
stuff.
We used to sit and like manifest for each other. Many years ago, I remember us doing that.
That's so sweet. Like one of my friends from the influencer friend group, like she would be like, "Oh, I just took inspiration from this video. It's so cute." And then she did it, and she'll show it to me and stuff. I think it's just so
love
cute.
that.
Yeah, like
That's so nice.
Yeah, I do think that when you get into a positive, healthy girlfriend group, it's really one of the biggest blessings life can bring you. Because as girls, right? Okay, no shade to guys. I love my guy friends too, but girls get girls. There are a lot of things that, sometimes when I have a problem, I have guy friends and I have girlfriends. I know exactly what kind of response I want. So I go to whoever that I want. Yeah, like for example, there was one time that I was crying really bad because someone made a very nasty comment about my body online. I went to my boyfriend first. He was not empathetic at all.
Oh my
so I
gosh.
said, fuck that. I called Azura. She was like, immediately, she was like, I will beat them. Who is that? I will beat them. I will come over now. Do you want me to come over now? Things like that. So girlfriends, they just think they're ride or die. They get it. I love that.
One time I was suffering like this emotional heartbreak and I felt so bad. I couldn't focus on my work at all. And I know that I couldn't speak to a guy because they'll be so rational about it. I called Germaine. This happened like years ago. My goodness, before our radio shift, she sat down with me. She went through everything with me, made me feel so much better before I went back to work. Girls. Just get it.
I love girls. Right.
Yeah.
It's true. But there can be sometimes, I think, in terms of communication between girls, because guys are so straightforward and blunt and rational, right? What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
But with girls, we're a bit more passive-aggressive sometimes. Sorry. I know that is me. So sometimes the things we say may not be what we mean, but I do think we kind of get used to that.
Correct.
with
Like the
girls.
very first question I'll ask is, babe, do you need a listening ear or do you need my rational advice?
Oh my God, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? And then just very recently, one of my girlfriends confided in me. She told me she just needed a listening ear because whatever she was telling me was bullshit lah, honestly, okay? So I listened to her talk and then at the end of the day, I gave her some time to like settle down and
Your blood boiling now
fired
as you
her
listen.
a bit. She told me, Hazel, I know you'll be pissed if I tell you this, but please don't be pissed, okay? Please just listen me up because I just need a listening ear now. So I was like, okay. After I listened to her, I comforted her, consoled her. I gave her a couple of hours and now I just fired text. And then she was like, I get it. I know I shouldn't be feeling this way.
Yeah.
I hope she's in a better place now.
Actually, I realized like I'm more of a listening ear. Yeah, like when my friends come to me because they know that I'm the kind that like, well, yes, you are right. Like, what the hell
loyal
the guy
friend.
doing? Like, yeah,
Screw him.
Yeah.
And then in 3 to 5 business days, she's back with him
Yeah,
again.
and I'm
So
like, actually, I think
actually, he's not so bad.
Actually, I feel like you are a bit in the wrong in this, but like.
But of course, I know that there are many listeners listening to us right now. Perhaps they're dealing with some friendship heartbreaks.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to these people?
I would say that if you didn't end up being friends with that person, it might not be a bad thing because it could be that both of you have different expectations of a friendship. And I think that's totally fine. Like, I'm very happy for friends that I am not friends with anymore. I'm happy watching them from afar, and I think that's okay. Yeah, and I think you'll find peace with yourself.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
so
I feel like
nice.
that's coming from a very personal place.
Yes.
Like she obviously went through that. It's not easy to, especially if you're outcasted from a group of friends, right? If it was like a mutual friend breakup kind of thing, which is quite rare because friends don't really break up like that. I would say that it's like a breakup. You need to take that time to get in touch with yourself and understand, okay, reassure yourself that there are parts of you that you like. Maybe not every part of you, but there are parts of you. Because when that happens, you tend to spiral into a very dark place where you're like, if they don't even like me, how do I like myself?
Correct.
Yeah.
No, it's like a relationship. Like your self-esteem takes a hit.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I remember back in my secondary school days, I had a close group of like 6 girlfriends, including myself. I left this group because I thought, hey, the other group was cooler. I'm not proud of this, I say this first, but I left this group to join this other group of, there's guys and girls in it, of like 15 people. And then my initial girl group, one of them, the leader of the girl group, was angry at me. She was like, you want to join them, right? You go. Don't ever come back and sit with us again. And I was like, why are you being like that? I'm just joining them for like a few recesses, And then she's like, no, once you join them, don't ever come back. So in the end, I was outcasted by the big group, the group of 15. So they didn't accept me. And I felt so hurt. I felt exactly what you were talking about, I didn't understand. And the old group wouldn't take me back. So I ultimately just lost both of them. But it taught me a very important lesson. And that is, I should never ever try to fit in. Because in the first place, I was trying to fit in. That's why I left to go to the bigger group. Yeah, so, well, I guess sometimes we win, sometimes we learn.
I think change is expected. And especially when you're younger, you want to be in a big group. You want a lot of friends.
Yeah.
But as you get older, it's okay. If like certain friendships like fizzle out, it's okay. It's very normal. I saw this video recently on TikTok actually about this girl saying how, I think a couple of years ago, she had a birthday party. And it was a very big party and she had like 30 people at that table. And then now, or very recently, she just celebrated her birthday at the same place again. And she looks at the pictures, and out of that, like, 30, only maybe like 10 were still there.
Oh, but that's not bad already.
They're not bad.
10 or 6, not bad already.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah. But that's just life, isn't it? So if you're dealing with some friendship heartbreaks, please just give yourself some time to experience those emotions, even though they might be negative. Give yourself time to grieve and then reflect on your future friendships, like what kind of friendships you want to look for.
And be like Vanessa, she managed to forgive, seeing as, okay, that happened when, you know, you were very young and they didn't know any better and they didn't have ill intentions towards you. But if you are on the flip side of that, if you are part of a friend group that had outcasted someone, right, it might not hurt even years later just to reach out to the person, and you don't have to apologize, but just say something like, you know,
Something nice.
yeah, just say something nice, offer some words that may help them find the closure and help you find the closure that you need.
Last but not least, Vanessa, any words for our girlfriends out there?
I would say to treasure like all your friendships. I know that when we are young, like we might be a little bit more judgy, a little bit more like we're going through life and everything. But I would say maybe like don't lose your personality. Like don't conform to other people. Yeah, and just be yourself. And then friends who have the same personality or love you would gravitate towards you.
I like that. So if you like this episode, you will also like our other episodes on stuff like breaking up with friends and why that is okay. Does traveling with friends ruin friendships? And can co-workers become true friends? So check us out on Instagram at isclarity.co.
That's right. You can listen to us on MeListen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Turn on your notifications.
And we're on YouTube as well. We can't wait to catch you for the next episode. And thank you, Vanessa, for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you guys.
You will always find your tribe.
Your tribe vibe. Your vibe tribe.
Bring my mic with me.
Inside out.
Yeah, I know. So cute.
So cute. You bought from where?
Oh, it's from a local store.